当時の日本海軍の英語力が異常に高かったわけ。戦時中の日本の海軍は全員が英語で捕虜への尋問を行ったり、救助したアメリカ兵の病状を英語で確認したりと、全員が高い英語力を身につけていて、そのレベル。
Hi, I'm Sophia. This time, I'm going to show you some more English conversation phrases that native speakers use really often. Say them out loud with me. So, let's get started. I saw that movie. It was great. I saw that movie. It was great. I saw that movie. It was great. I'll go see it soon. I'll go see it soon. I'll go see it soon. How do I look? How do I look? How do I look? Are you gonna catch the game? Are you gonna catch the game? Are you gonna catch the game? Can you help me out a little bit? Can you help me out a little bit? Can you help me out a little bit? Having fun? Having fun? Having fun? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I don't have any plans. I don't have any plans. I don't have any plans. I already have plans. I already have plans. I already have plans. You wanna go get dinner? You wanna go get dinner? You wanna go get dinner? Well, that's all for this time. Try saying them out loud when you practice with the materials we've included in the overview section. See you soon. This is Eikawa.
実践的な英会話を短期間で効率よく身につけたい方はいろんなアメリカ人の生の英会話を学ぶのが一番です。英会話教材 This is 英会話ではアメリカ人約150人の生の英会話を紹介しています。概要欄に紹介していますのでぜひ見てください。それでは次回もお楽しみに。
Let's practice English conversation.
Hello, this is Lauren from Speak Now. This video introduces English phrases that I, an American, remember when I was a
Use mine. Go ahead.
You must find me.
Go wash your face.
コンビニに行ってきます。
I'm off to the convenience store. I'm off to the convenience store. I'm off to the convenience store.
学校に時間ぴったりに着きました。
I got to school on time. I got to school on time. I got to school on time.
どうぞ私のを使って。
Go ahead and use mine. Go ahead and use mine. Go ahead and use mine.
もう一つ欲しいです。
I'd like just one more. I'd like just one more. I'd like just one more.
これ私のだよね。
That's mine, right? That's mine, right? That's mine, right?
楽しそう。
That sounds fun. That sounds fun. That sounds fun.
なんとかなるよ。
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
家に帰らなくちゃ。
I have to go home. I have to go home. I have to go home.
何を持って行ったらいい？
What should I bring? What should I bring? What should I bring?
お腹が痛い。
My stomach hurts. My stomach hurts. My stomach hurts.
ちゃんと座って。
Sit properly. Sit properly. Sit properly.
近づいちゃダメ。
Stay away from me. Stay away from me. Stay away from me.
大丈夫。
Are you all right? Are you all right? Are you all right?
聞きたいことがあるんですけど。
I have a question for you. I have a question for you. I have a question for you.
気にしないで。
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
やってみていい？
Can I try? Can I try? Can I try?
意地悪しないで。
Don't be mean. Don't be mean. Don't be mean.
私の番だよ。
It's my turn. It's my turn. It's my turn.
私にやらせて。
Let me try. Let me try. Let me try.
いくついるの？
How many do you need? How many do you need? How many do you need?
水分きちんととってね。
Keep hydrated. Keep hydrated. Keep hydrated.
私には関係ないよ。
It's not my business. It's not my business. It's not my business.
一人でできるよ。
I can do it by myself. I can do it by myself. I can do it by myself.
よかったね。
Good for you. Good for you. Good for you.
しっかり行儀よくしなさい。
Mind your manners. Mind your manners. Mind your manners.
嘘なんてつくんじゃなかった。
I shouldn't have lied. I shouldn't have lied. I shouldn't have lied.
そうなの？
Is that right? Is that right? Is that right?
どうしたの？
What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?
疲れちゃった。
I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted.
私のせいじゃない。
It's not my fault. It's
先生、先生ってどんな人でも英語を話せるようにできるって聞いたんですけど、高校時代英語の成績が一だった僕で本当に話せるようになりますか？
全然大丈夫ですよ。私の作った見るだけで英語を話せるようになる YouTube 動画を試してみませんか？
いやでも先生、日本人って基本的に英語苦手じゃないですか。世界英語力ランキングでも韓国や中国に負けてるぐらいですし、本当に YouTube 動画を見るだけで話せるようになるんですか？
それは日本人の能力の問題ではなく、勉強のやり方が間違えてるだけなんですよね。
そうなんですか？
はい。実際にこの YouTube 動画と全く同じ内容のレッスンを2021年の東京オリンピックの運営スタッフ約6万人に受けてもらったんですが、英語でのスムーズな大会運営ができて、外国人選手や関係者にとっても驚かれたんですね。
6万人が体験して効果はもう実証済みなんですね。
だから私もね、自信を持っておすすめしてる英語学習法なんですよね。
なるほど。でも先生、その動画ってどれぐらい見れば話せるようになるんですか
？1日30分、1週間もあれば劇的に英語力がアップしますね。
1日30分だけ？しかも1週間でいいんですか？
実際に体験した人の映像がこちらです。
I want to go to many countries and visit museums. I have a teacher's license and I like spending time with children. So, if possible, I'm also interested in teaching Japanese, maybe as a volunteer. I hope you all enjoy learning English and make your dreams come true.
いかがですか？でも試してみたくなったんじゃないですか？
これは僕もやってみたいです。
でしたら、この動画下の青いバトンから飛べる公式サイトをチェックしてみてください。無料でレッスン動画をお送りします。
ありがとうございます。今すぐ見てみます。
メンタリスト大悟さんのおすすめ、完璧かつ効果的に新しい英会話習得法。
どうも、大悟です。結論から言うとですね、一回英語を勉強し直そうかなと思いまして、このアクセスさんのところが良かったんで、僕とね、うちの社員がみんなこうしてされるような。
メンタリスト大悟さんもプログラム内容に納得して実際に受講している超初級者から中級者に特化した効果的な全く新しい完全オリジナルプログラム&カリキュラムのアクエスマンツーマンオンライン英会話スクール。ちなみに上級者には全く効果がありませんので、英語がすでに話せる方は今すぐこちらはスキップください。
日本で忙しい人が普通に勉強して喋れるようになるにはどうすればいいのかって繰り返しっていうのと、あとは数打つってことがすごく大事なんですね。でこれを、考えてみるといろんな英語のね学習プロセスがあるんですけども、間違いなくオンライン英語になるだろうとこうね使えるサービスって2つぐらい絞られてるわけです。でその1つがアクセスさん。復習ちゃんとやるようになったらもう多分英語喋れるわけです。復習しないでしょみんな。アクセスさんの面白いところは復習しないで、その授業の中だけでねやってくれるスパイラルカリキュラム繰り返すのがめっちゃ重要なんですよ。どれぐらいのスパイで繰り返したらいいのか、3回正解して2回間違えてるようなものっていうのはどれぐらいの頻度でですね復習したらいいのとか、3回出てきてるんだけども1回も正解してないのどれぐらいの頻度で正解をするのって結構繰り返しの頻度って学習効率上げるためにめちゃくちゃ重要なんですよ。 でこれって家で復習してくださいねっていうタイプの英会話スクールだと自分でやらなくちゃいけないんですよ。でこれ知識ないとできないし、全区間を平等に復習するなんて不可能じゃないですか。でこれ勝手にやってくれますよっていうのがこのスパイラルカリキュラムってやつなんですね。だからレッスン中に過去にやった文章とか、過去に自分は日本語から英語に変換しまくってた文章がちょこちょこ出てくるんです。
復習を一切することなく、ただレッスンを受けていくだけでしっかりと英会話上達が見込める、大悟さんも話してくださった他社にはないオリジナルのスパイラルカリキュラムという、全く復習しなくても英会話が伸びていくプログラムを実装しているのがアクエスマンツーマンオンライン英会話スクール。画期的なカリキュラムです。
アクエスさんの面白いところは、なんとですね、人間もここまで落ちたかって感じですが、予定を皆さんに聞いて予約をしてくれる人がいるそうです。予約を代わりにやってくれて、時間になったら電話がかかってくるんですよ。電話っていうかコールが入るんですよね。だからね、強制なんですよね。もうこれやらざるを得ないですよね。これすごいですよね。
あなたの代わりにレッスン予約をし、時間になったらコールが鳴るという三日坊主にならない、継続が無理なくできるシステムがあるので、だからどんどん英語が話せるようになる。アクエスマンツーマンオンライン英会話スクール。今からでも英語は遅くないというところですね。40とか50とか60になったから英語を学ぶっていうのも全く遅くないっていうか、むしろいいかもしれない。僕もね、僕のチームもそうなんですけど、巻き込んで英語の勉強をですね、ちょっとゼロからちゃんとやってみようということで、僕らも英語を喋るようになりましょう。
Not my fault. It's not my fault.
だいたいいくらですか？
About how much was it? About how much was it? About how much was it?
なぜですか？
Why is that? Why is that? Why is that?
待ちきれないよ。
I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait.
会えて嬉しい。
I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see you.
それってなんて言うの？
What's that called? What's that called? What's that called?
家に帰ります。
I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going home.
そういう意味じゃないんだけどな。
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
今日はどうだった？
How was your day? How was your day? How was your day?
ベストは尽くしてます。
I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best.
私は家に帰る途中です。
I'm on the way home. I'm on the way home. I'm on the way home.
秘密にしてね。
Keep it a secret. Keep it a secret. Keep it a secret.
これにする。
I will take this. I will take this. I will take this.
ちょっと考えさせて。
Let me think about it. Let me think about it. Let me think about it.
知っていることを話して。
Tell me what you know. Tell me what you know. Tell me what you know.
君ならできるよ。
You can do it. You can do it. You can do it.
急がせないで。
Please don't rush me. Please don't rush me. Please don't rush me.
私の家族は仲がいい。
My family is close. My family is close. My family is close.
聞こえません。
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
ちょっとわからないな。
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
助けてくれてありがとう。
Thanks for your help. Thanks for your help. Thanks for your help.
おいしいですか？
Does it taste good? Does it taste good? Does it taste good?
精一杯やった。
I tried everything. I tried everything. I tried everything.
お寿司は好きですか？
Do you like sushi? Do you like sushi? Do you like sushi?
書いてください。
Please write it down. Please write it down. Please write it down.
忘れてごめんなさい。
I'm sorry, I forgot. I'm sorry, I forgot. I'm sorry, I forgot.
そろそろ夕食の時間だよ。
It's almost time for dinner. It's almost time for dinner. It's almost time for dinner.
準備できた。
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
きっと大丈夫だよ。
I'm sure it's okay. I'm sure it's okay. I'm sure it's okay.
恥ずかしがらないで。
Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
ちょっと遅れそう。
I'm gonna be late. I'm gonna be late. I'm gonna be late.
必要なものはこれだけです。
That's all I need. That's all I need. That's all I need.
What? Oh. Okay. Now where have you been? Linky, you're not a ghost, are you? Hey. That looks interesting. Phew. One step at a time. What exactly happened?
今ここに来てこうやって来てるわけですよね。で
So
この
when
時
you and
に
Princess
心
Zelda
波っ
go
ていうの
beneath
は次
Hyrule
どこま
Castle, you discover a mysterious mummy which suddenly reanimates.
を使って解析します。機器可能な
Then Zelda falls into a
の一例
fissure
です。
and
手法
vanishes.
の概要、ベントリー、5軌道平均線、
That must have been when the castle rose and the ruins fell.
25MA の注意点、5MA と 25MA のゴールデンクロスや
Then, later, you wake
レッ
up
ド
on
ク
a
ロスが
sky
発生するま
island,
でスワップ
saved
ポイ
by
ン
the
トを狙
arm
って
that
保
was
有
stuck to the mummy.
する場合には土天売買が
You
有
get the
効であると
Pura
するため
from an unusual creature and learn that your new arm belonged to someone named Raru.
25SMA の状況でレンジ
The
判断して
master
ますが
sword disappears.
決済と見送りに裁量
You
要素あ
hear
るけ
the
ど
princess's
久々の
voice
ヒットかな
and find your way here. What? What? Hmm.
回数20回勝ち14回負け6回勝率 70% 総利益プラス2286ピプス。それでは検証終了です。あとテスター5を使ってます。下回ったら上回ったら決済する。7損切り直近高安で利益が乗ってきたらトレーリングストップ。このルールで早速検証します。今回はフォレックステスター5を使ってます。10倍速以上で再生中ですのでポイントを押さえてみてくださいね。
決済用のトレンドラインが引きにくいです。これじゃあ切り下げ切り上げですよね。とりあえずこんな感じで進めてます。ある程度利益が乗ってきたらトレーリングストップしてます。結構手応え感じてますよ。25SMA の状況でレンジ判断してますが、これはもったいないって感じでした。決済と見送りに裁量要素あるけど、久々のヒットかな。総利益をチラ見したらかなりヤバいです。なんかデータがない期間が出てる。あと少しで終わりますから、このまま見ててくださいね。検証終了です。いかがでしたか？いろいろクロス系手法を検証しましたが、今回が一番良かった気がします。それでは検証結果です。1時間足ゴールド3ヶ月、トレード回数20回、勝ち14回、負け6回、勝率 70%、総利益プラス2286ピプス。結論、直近3ヶ月で勝率 70% のプラス2286ピプス。チャット GPT 侮れません。大したもんです。20SMA がフラットの時は見送ってましたが、この辺の見極めが難しいです。味覚のライン抜けは引きにくい場面が多いので、状況によってレジサポや MA の抜けなどで判断して利確するのも一つの手段です。裁量要素がありますが、この手法に興味ありましたらぜひ検証してください。今回はこれで終わりとなります。最後まで見ていただきありがとうございました。こんな検証をしてほしいとかコメントは何でも OK ですのでお待ちしています。それでは次回またお会いしましょう。ご視聴ありがとうございました。おすすめ動画もご覧ください。チャンネル登録もよろしくお願いします。
おう。
へい。ああ。おう。
ああ。よう。ああ。おう。ああ。
ん？うん。ああ。うん。ああ。うん。ああ。ああ。ああ。
よう。ああ。ああ。ああ。ああ。おああ。 あああうんようはい
ああ。ああ。
はあ。
おお。ああ。お。ああ。ああ。
おお。
ああ。おう。ああ。
風のレガリア、私にチューニングさせて。
敵の
例えばあなたが作る具だくさんのスープすごくいいね。小さなヘルシーを続けるあなたにキウイを知ってほしい。力をくれる、気分を上げる、美味しい10種の栄養素。そうキウイを毎日続ければやがて大きな力になる。
小さなキウイ、大きな力。
力になる。
片手でボールシルコット。
あ、片手じゃ取れない。
ポンポン、片手でボール、片手でボールのシルコット。片手でボールシューさあ、イージートゥ取り出し。
あ、こぼれた。ああ、出過ぎ。
ポンポン、片手でボール、片手でボールのシルコット。片手でボールシューさあ、イージートゥ
片手でポンってすぐきれい。シールド。
Have you ever experienced this before? You want to say something in your non-native language, but you always feel like you need to translate it first from your native language to non-native language. And if you want to become fluent in language, you need to think in your non-native language. If you're struggling in your target language, this video is for you. Hi guys, it's me Didi. Today we're going to talk about how to create a second brain in your target language and stop translating all the time in your head. before talking about the tips and tricks, let me explain my definition of fluency, because fluency can really differ according to your goals. For example, let's say if you're learning a language in order to pass a certain exam, then your language goals should be more focused on learning the maybe grammar, or like some exams require essays, listening practices, reading practices, or I don't know, interview practices, maybe about those type of things. Or if you're learning a language for business purposes, rather than focusing on daily conversations, maybe it's more important to focus on business terms in your niche. Or if your focus is to socialize with people from different countries and use daily conversation, then it's better to focus on daily conversational vocabularies and like terms. So for me, the main reason to learn languages is being able to communicate with people. If I'm saying something and if you're understanding it, for me personally, grammar mistakes or using really difficult vocabularies are not that important. So according to my goal of being able to have a smooth daily conversation, I measure my fluency according to the level of my secondary linguistic personality. What do I mean by secondary linguistic personality? Have you ever experienced this? When you switch languages, your personality slightly, or maybe not even slightly, like major changes in your personality can occur. For example, in my case, I'm much funnier in Japanese, more logical, and also a bit shy and distant in German. And also according to my really close friend, I'm more sarcastic and friendly in Turkish, but more confident and businesswoman vibes in English. So if your personality changes when you switch the languages, that is the real fluency. Because in order to secondary linguistic characteristics to develop, you need to experience the culture, interact with natives, and see how they use their gestures, how they think. You know, you need to understand their values. Because languages have really close relationship with the culture. So if you learn a language, you don't only learn about the vocabularies and grammar rules. You also learn about the culture, the way they think, and the values system of that language. So when I'm learning a language, my ultimate goal is not being taken as a foreigner when I'm talking in that language. And also, if you think languages are only about the accent or about the vocabularies, like how difficult vocabularies you use and your grammar rules, you're completely wrong. The gestures, the way you understand the culture, and the way you actually think really proves whether you know that language very well or not. When we learn a new language, we learn actually a new way of thinking, new values, and almost like the way you look to the world changes. Actually, when I learned German, I realized really different ways of thinking from the way that Germans structure their sentences, because it sounds so different from the other languages that I knew. I don't know, it just like gave me some sort of a new way of thinking. It's more logical and it's more structured and it's more like it has more rules, but I really loved it. So why developing a secondary linguistic personality is important. So these examples are just my opinions, so take them as a grain of salt, but I think to have better and smoother communication. Let's say you're learning Japanese. If you ignore the whole Japanese culture about, like, you know, for example, keigo, the way we show respect when we're talking. So let's say if you ignore this keigo and like respecting the older person culture, even though if you're talking like perfect Japanese, if you don't understand this culture, you might sound grammatically correct, but it might be a bit disrespectful. So in order to avoid this miscommunications and misunderstandings, I think developing a secondary linguistic personality is really important. And also the second reason is to be confident in that language, because if you realize that your personality, that your whole personality, your identity is changing in that language, how cool it is, right? Because it shows your dedication and the amount of the work you put in. Third reason is to have better understanding of people from that language. If you're developing a secondary linguistic personality, it means that you have a good understanding of that culture. So even if you can understand somebody, like what they're saying, if you don't understand what is behind of that, what type of culture is that, you might think that they're rude or disrespectful, but maybe in that culture it's not disrespectful. It is respectful, and disrespectful really depends on the culture and on the value system. So understanding these will allow you to avoid miscommunication and misunderstanding. Okay, so One of the tips I can give you is that don't translate everything. In the beginning, of course, it is important to know the meaning of the vocabularies in your native language, because otherwise, how can you know, right? And also translation allows you to have a quicker understanding of that vocabulary. So in the beginning, it will actually save you quite a lot of time to translate some words. Even if you want to translate in your head, don't abandon translating or using a translator altogether. It's all about how you use them and how much you use them. Because as a beginner, it's one of the fastest ways to learn a language is to look up the translation and memorizing it. But as you progress, you will need to translate words less and less, so just trust the process. So how we can decide what to translate and what's not to. What I was doing when I was learning German and also English was that instead of translating word by word, firstly try to guess the meaning of the vocabulary from the context of the sentence. Because in some situations when you read the whole sentence, you can kind of like guess the meaning of the vocabulary, but you might not be sure. And after guessing it, you can check on the translator whether it's true or not. In that way, you can associate words with the sentences and you can also clearly see how they're used. And also, like, from your guesses, I think it's much easier to memorize, because let's say it's something really different than you guess, it's much easier to memorize. After getting a bit comfortable in that language, like you don't need to look at every word by word in order to understand sentences. Stop translating words in your native language, and rather than that, look their definition in your target language. So let's say if you're an English native speaker and if you're learning Japanese, like stop looking the meaning of the words in English and look the definition in Japanese. Checking the translation might be much faster than looking the definition and trying to understand the definition. However, with the time, you'll get better at guessing or understanding meaning of the vocabulary. And also by looking at the definition, you will learn new vocabularies and also maybe a different way to use the same vocabulary. In the beginning, it will take a lot of time because instead of translating, you're looking to the definition every single time, and it might be a really boring and tiring process. But don't forget, learning a language is a long journey. We're not rushing here. Even if you're rushing, it is a journey, so take it seriously. When learning about new vocabularies and also new sentences, since the journey is so long and might be boring sometimes, you can feel really lonely and also almost like depressed. In order to learn vocabularies in a fun way and also do some grammar practices, talk with native speakers, I would like to recommend you guys today's sponsor, Busuu. Busuu is a language app that you can download for free, and also you can upgrade if you would like access to the premium features. In Busuu, you can log in how many minutes you're going to study in a day and which fluency level you want to reach, and Busuu gives a approximately time when you can reach that goal, and also it gives you daily exercises. Busuu teaches the world's most popular languages like French, German, Spanish, Italian, Japanese, English, and many more. Also, a great thing about Busuu is that Busuu breaks down every lesson into small achievable pieces, so it's not like you need to do tons of activities in a day in order to achieve your goal, but like start with small activities every day so that you can build the momentum and reach your goals faster. And also, other great feature about the Busuu is that they have a community where you can get feedback from native speakers and also give feedback in the languages that you're native. Because sometimes you Google something but it does not show up, you know, it might be a really daily conversational small thing about some sort of a language, but maybe on Google you cannot find it, but you can post it on Busuu and people will answer it. I think having a community and the feeling of not being alone makes the learning process much fun and easier, in my opinion. The vocabulary and grammar review tool also allows you to understand where you repeatedly do mistakes or the areas that you know pretty well so that you do not study again and again. Really love Busuu, and also from my previous collaborations with Busuu, you guys seem to like Busuu as well. So check out Busuu from the link down in the description below. You can sign up and start learning languages using Busuu for free, and also start using the premium version for free 7 days using my link down in the description below. So thank you so much, Busuu, for sponsoring this video. Okay, so we stopped translating in your native language and we are reading the definitions in your target language. After learning a certain amount of vocabularies, better to move on to sentences rather than focusing word by word. So in the previous stage, we were trying to understand the meaning of the vocabulary and we were guessing it and then we were searching up. But now we will focus on the meaning of the sentence rather than the vocabulary itself. The importance of this step is that sometimes you can like translate a sentence word by word. Even if you translate it doesn't really make sense in your own language because the way you tell it might be different. Therefore, it's important to focus on sentences rather than the vocabularies after a certain amount of time where you build a bit of base vocabularies in your target language. When translating the sentences, start with simple sentences. You're trying to learn from more complicated sentences, then make them simpler. So let me give you an example. Let's translate this sentence into Turkish. I don't want to have kids because they cost a lot of money. Let's make this sentence firstly simpler. First sentence, I don't want to have kids. Second sentence, they cost a lot of money. So we make the sentences simpler and let's translate these sentences. I don't want to have kids. Çocuk istemiyorum. They cost a lot of money. Çok paraya mal oluyorlar. Now combine these two simple sentences with a simple conjunction çünkü. So like because in Turkish. Çocuk istemiyorum çünkü çok paraya mal oluyorlar. I don't want to have kids.
人間は進化をサボっていないか。東京、大阪、名古屋国際工科専門職大学。
Because they cost a lot of money. When translating sentences, the key is to make the sentence simple as possible. What really communication is, it's not really about the sophistication of your message or how difficult vocabularies you use, but the ability to transfer the message you would like to give, right? So talking in simple sentences and simple vocabulary is totally fine if the other side is understanding you. And if you're able to communicate, then that's fine. So when you're speaking and if you feel like you need to translate in your head, stop for a moment and break down the sentences in your head in the most simple structure as possible and say them separately. And later on, if you need to add some details, you can always add them later on. A lot of you guys might be thinking, when will I reach to this level? It will take you quite a long time to reach to the level where you stop translating in your head and thinking in your target language. You need to do a massive input in your target language. You need to be exposed to that language so much in order to be able to think in that language. Just like a native speaker in that language, try to expose yourself as much as possible into that language. For example, reading books, watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, following newspapers, reading online articles, signing up to newsletters or something. There's so many ways to do inputs these days. The more you integrate these in your lifestyle, in a daily part of yours, you will be more likely to think in that language. For example, every single day I listen German rap at least for 30 minutes in order not to forget German. And also I do business in English and I talk with my dad in Turkish and with my mom in Japanese, and I also have Turkish and Japanese friends and also international friends. So I use all of these languages in a day, and making this a habit will allow you to firstly not forget that language and also improve in that language. If you, for example, compare my old videos to my current videos, my English actually improved quite a lot. I'm not saying that I'm like perfect in English, I sound like a native speaker whatsoever, but I'm able to sustain my life while doing a business in my non-native language, which is, I think, it's pretty impressive. When I was learning English, I was watching YouTube videos 6 to 7 hours in a day, so I was doing a massive input in English, and with the time, it took quite a long time, like a year and a half, but after a bit of time, I slowly started to be able to think in English, and now when I'm like trying to say something, I don't think in Japanese or Turkish, I say it directly in English, and while I'm talking, I think in English. But it's due to the massive input that I've done and also that I've been doing. You can learn in languages just like having a lot of conversation, but in order to be able to think in that language, you need to be more strategical. So the conclusion will be, if you're a beginner to that language, translating the vocabularies word by word to your native language is completely normal and it will allow you to progress faster. Since you build the vocabulary bank in your target language, you will require translation less and less, because from the sentence context you will be able to understand the meaning of the vocabulary or guess the meaning of the vocabulary with the time. And from translating word by word, it will move on to the sentences, which will allow the process to be much faster. Doing a massive input is important to be able to reach to the level where you think in that target language. But at the same time, if you only do inputs, you will be able to understand maybe, but you might not be able to speak. I actually have a video about it, which you can watch here. Do massive inputs in the beginning and then gradually start to do outputs and then balance them together so that you will be able to understand, think in that language, and also speak and write in that language. I hope you guys find this video valuable, and see you guys in my next video. Bye!
Here is your drink.
Who is that?
ここにもレがおる。南国テカリ坊主や。何がしたいん？ああ。